Was the last time you prayed for the sinner? Was the last time you asked God to save somebody? Again, because the church has become a consumer product, it's become a civilian product, that we forget that we have a purpose, that we are on mission. There's a story about an atheist, and he's a well-known performer. And he says that after one of his events, this guy comes up to him with the Bible. And the guy comes up to the atheist, and he's like, hey, you did a great job. The show was great. I just want to give you this Bible. And he starts witnessing to the atheist. And the atheist is reporting this to a news outlet, and he goes, this guy came up to me, and he was very honest, and he was very direct, and he really, he says it multiple times, he looked me in the eye, and he really cared. You could tell he was very sincere. And then he says, I don't respect Christians who don't evangelize. This is coming from an atheist. He says, I don't really respect Christians who don't evangelize, because if you really have what you say is the word of life, and you truly believe that you have the way to eternal salvation, and you firmly believe that what you believe is true, and that this is the answer, he says, how much do you have to hate somebody not to tell them? From an atheist. How much do you have to really not like somebody to not tell them the truth? And then he goes on to say, he's like, if I was standing and I saw somebody walking towards a moving train, he's like, at first I would shout at them, I'd yell at them, but at some point, I go and I tackle them. And he says, and this issue is far less important than the other. When do we start to realize, as a house of God and as believers, that our responsibility is to reach the lost? When do we get off the throne of our selfishness and our own self-seeking lifestyle, that we start to realize that there are people running towards a moving train, and somebody's got to help them? At what point does the conviction of the Holy Spirit set into our heart till we stop playing church and we start to actually be church? We've got to get our minds right, our minds fixed on this idea, if I don't, who will? We've got to remember, all you got to do, just ask him. I just started doing this daily. I say, Lord, give me your heart for the lost. Give me your heart for the lost. Every day I pray, God, I pray for those who don't know you. I don't even know who I'm praying for. I pray for my family, and then I pray for people who I don't even know. Lord, I pray that those who don't know you, that they'd find you, Jesus, that you'd set them free, I don't care what church they end up at, God. I just pray they find you, Lord. I pray that they get saved, Lord, that they know you. This has become a daily prayer of my heart. And guess what? The more I ask him, God, give me this heart, the more I begin to see my heart begin to shift and begin to change, where I'm not thinking about the consumer side of church and is everybody pleased? I'm thinking, are we preaching the true gospel, and are we making a difference? I was telling the first church earlier that I don't want to be the church that hell doesn't worry about. It starts with us saying, God, give me the heart for the lost that you have, Lord. Let me care about them, really care about them.